Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Ram
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 Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Ram Ram
Ram Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna Ram
Ram
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna
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 Ram
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 Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Ram
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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Ram
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 Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Shri
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Chaitanya
Ram Hare
Prabhu
Ram, Ram
Nityananda
Hare
Shri
Hare
Advaita
Krishna, Hare
Gadadhara
Krishna,
Shri
Krishna Krishna,
Advaita
Hare Hare,
Gadadhara
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna, Krishna Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
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 Hare
Ram Ram Hare
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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
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 Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Ram Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Ram
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare 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 Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Bhakti Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Radhana Swamiti Namani Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachata Desatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaurapta Bunda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama
Check
Hare
the
Hare,
speed,
Hare
speed,
Krishna
Prabhu.
Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरभक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Namaste. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
Rama
Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Rama
Krishna
Rama Hare
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 Rama
Hare
Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Rama Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare 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 Krishna.
Thank you very much, devotees, for chanting today. Enthusiasm, many participants. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So we'll start. Please complete your round and be ready for readings and recitations. Okay. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurinvilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukang karati vachalam pangam langayate girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gato piva yasmaret pundarikaksham sabahya sujihi. Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. Om Tadvishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayo. Divi Vachakshiradatam Sadvipra Jagruham Samindate. Vishnum Yat Paramam Padam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. We'll continue with Brahmastuti. We'll continue from 25 onwards. Okay. Yesterday we have chanted 22, 20, 24. So today we will chanting. We will be chanting 25, 27. Please repeat after me. Okay. Atmanam evatmataya vijanatam. Hare Krishna, are you able to hear me?
Atmanameva mataya vijantam.
Yeah, you chant. Atmanameva mataya vijanatam. Please chant everybody, devotees.
Atmanameva
विजानताम्
Tenaiva jatam nikhilam prapanchitam.
तेनैव जातं निखिलं प्रपञ्चितम्
Tenaiva jatam nikhilam prapanchitam.
तेनैव जातं निखिलं प्रपञ्चितम्
ज्ञानेन भूयोऽपि च तत् प्रलीयते.
ज्ञानेन भूयोऽपि च तत्प्रलीयते
ज्ञानेन भूयोऽपि चित् अपि च ओके ज्ञानेन भूयोऽपि च तत् प्रलीयते.
ज्ञानेन भूयोऽपि च तत्प्रलीयते
रज्ज्वामहेर्भोग भवा भवो यथा. रज्ज्वाम् अहेर्भोग भवा भवौ यथा.
यथा
अज्ञानसंज्ञौ भवबन्धमोक्षौ. భవబంధాల నుంచి మోక్షం. సో బ్యూటిఫుల్. ఫస్ట్ recited by creator, secondary creator Brahma. భవబంధ మోక్షం. అజ్ఞాన సంజ్ఞో భవబంధ మోక్షం. ద్వౌ నామనాన్యౌ सर्वज्ञत्वात्. द्वौ नामनान्यौ सर्वज्ञभावात्. द्वौ नामनान्यौ सर्वज्ञभावात्. अचित्यात्मकेवले परे. अजस्रचित्यात्मनि केवले परे.
अजस्रचित्यात्मनि केवले परे
विचार्यमाने तरनाविवाहनि.
विचार्यमाणे
विवाहनि
विचार्यमाने विवाहनि.
विचार्यमाणे तरनाविवाहनि
Haribol, your internet is breaking. Haribol,
సరే బాయ్
వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది నాన్న.
Okay, you chant Hare Krishna, Lalita Mother, you chant.
త్వామాత్మనం పరం మత్వా
త్వామాత్మనం పరం మత్వా
పరమాత్మనామేవ త్వామాత్మనం పరం మత్వా
త్వామాత్మనం పరం మత్వా
పరం ఆత్మానమేవ చ
పరమాత్మానమేవ చ
Atmanameva cha.
పరమాత్మానమేవ చ
Paramatmanameva cha.
పరమాత్మానమేవ చ
ఆత్మా పునర్బహిర్మృగ్యా
Atma
ఆత్మా
punarbahirmrugya.
పునర్బహిర్మృగ్యా
ఆత్మా పునర్బహిర్మృగ్యా
Atma
ఆత్మా
punarbahirmrugya.
పునర్బహిర్మృగ్యా
అహో జ్ఞాజనతాజ్ఞత
Aho jnata
అహో జ్ఞాజనతాజ్ఞత
Aho
జనతా
jnata
త్వామాత్మనం పరం మత్వా పరమాత్మానమేవ చ ఆత్మా పునర్బహిర్మృగ్యా అహో జ్ఞాజనతాజ్ఞత
పరమాత్మనం పరం మత్వా పరం ఆత్మానమేవ చ ఆత్మ
Atma
పునర్బహిర్మృగ్యా
punarbahirmrugya.
అహో
Aho
జ్ఞానాతనా
janatagyata.
జనతాజ్ఞత జనతాజ్ఞత
Janatagyata. Okay. So 12 lines చేయండి మీరు మొత్తం. 12 lines just చేయండి.
ఆత్మానవే ఆత్మానవే ఆత్మానమేవాత్మమత్ ఒక నిమిషం ఆత్మానమేవాత్మయవ మయివే
మయతా విజానతం
ఆత్మానమేవాత్మమతయా విజాతనాం తేనైవ జాతం నిఖిలం ప్రపంచితం జ్ఞానేన భూయోऽपि च तत्प्रलीयते राज्वामहिर्भोगभयावहौ यथा अज्ञानसंज्ञौ भवबन्धमोक्षौ द्वौ नाममानान्यौ श्रुतराज्ञभावात् अजश्रचित्या मणिकेवले परे विचार्यमाणे तरणाविवाहनि त्वामात्मनं परं मत्वा परमात्मानमेव च आत्मा पुनर्बहिर्मृग्या अहो ज्ञाजनताज्ञता. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you very much. Let us chant like that. Hare Krishna devotees, please unmute and chant like this. All the 12 lines, please. Atmanam evatmataya vijanatam. Atmanam evatmataya vijanatam. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. The time పడుతుంది. It's okay. మన కొత్త చేస్తున్నాం. It's okay. Atmanam evatmataya vijanatam.
ఆత్మతయా విజాతనాం.
Okay. Yeah. Atmanameva vijanatam tenaiva jatam nikhilam prapanchitam. అందరు కలిసి చేయండి చలో. జ్ఞానేన భూయో అపి చ తత్ ప్రలీయతే అజ్ఞాన సంజ్ఞో భవబంధమోక్షౌ నామనాన్యౌ తర్తాజ్ఞాభవాత్ అజస్రచిత్మని కేవలే పరే విచార్యమానే తరణావివాహని త్వమాత్మానం పరం మత్వా పరమాత్మానమేవ చ ఆత్మ పునర్బహిర్మృగ్యా అహోజ్ఞా జనతాజ్ఞత అహోజ్ఞా అహోజ్ఞా జనతాజ్ఞత. Yeah, 3 devotees, please be ready and read the meaning, please.
Hare Krishna. Text 25. A person who mistakes a rope for a snake becomes fearful, but he then gives up his fear upon realizing that so-called snake does not exist. Similarly, for those who fail to recognize you as a supreme soul of all souls, The expansive illusionary material energy existence arises, but knowledge of you at once causes it to subside. Hare Krishna.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
మనకు భయాలకి కారణం ఆయన సుప్రీం అని తెలియకపోవటం. ఒక లైన్.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, right. 3 types of understanding, right? Pratyaksha, Anumana, and what is that? Three.
Pramana.
Shabda Pramanam, right? Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda Pramanam. Shabda Pramanam. Yeah. Okay. So now, text 26, please read, Mata. Yeah.
Yeah. The conception of material bondage and the conception of liberation are both manifestations of ignorance. Being outside the scope of true knowledge, they cease to exist when one correctly understands that the pure spirit soul is distinct from matter and always fully conscious. At that time, bondage and liberation no longer have any significance, just as day and night have no significance from the perspective of the sun. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari Bol. Next sloka, read meaning. Read the meaning. Vrunda, you want to read? Go ahead.
27. Just see the foolishness of those ignorant persons who consider you to be some separated manifestation of illusion, and who consider the self, which is actually you, to be something else, the material body. Such fools conclude that the supreme soul is to be searched for somewhere outside your supreme personality.
Yeah, thank you, devotees. So this is the thing. A rope for a snake becomes fearful, but he then gives up his fear upon realizing that so-called snake does not exist. Maya. For those who fail to recognize the supreme soul of all souls, then illusory material existence arises, but knowledge of you to be sideline. We don't understand real knowledge. The concept of perception, material bondage, and the conception of liberation are both manifestations of ignorance. Being outside the scope of true knowledge, they cease to exist when one correctly understand that the pure spirit soul is distinct from matter and fully conscious. See, this is the thing. Ignorance is material bondage. But real knowledge is understand the spirit soul and fully conscious of that. At that time, Vijnanam. Atma Tattva Vijnanam, it takes
Haribol, your voice is breaking. Haribol. Haribol? Are you speaking, Haribol? Prabhuji, మీకు వినపడుతుందా హరిబో?
వినిపించట్లేదు
బ్రేక్ ఉంది.
వినపడట్లే కదా హరిబో?
బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది ఎందుకు?
గిరిరాజ్ ప్రభుజీ, హరే కృష్ణ. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, can you run the call? Hare Krishna.
Okay. Let me open.
Change host. I have changed the host. Make host, okay?
ఒకసారి నాకు అది పెడతారా? నాకు
మీటింగ్ సమ్మరీ చేంజ్ host.
ఒకసారి నాకు అది పంపిస్తారా? మనం పురుషోత్తమ మాస ప్రేయర్స్ ది.
Meanwhile, Vrinda, Haribol, devotees, Damodaram, అది చదువు నాని.
దామోదరమ్మ
సారీ, దామోదరం.
గోవర్ధన
గోవర్ధనధరం వందే చదువు.
గోవర్ధనాధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవమీశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. గోవర్ధనాధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవమీశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. గోవర్ధనాధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవమీశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం.
మాతాజీస్, ప్రభుజీస్ అందరూ ఒక్కొక్కసారి చదవండి, 2 శ్లోకాలు ఒకసారి చేయండి. హరిబోల్, ప్లీజ్ టేక్ టర్న్స్.
గోవర్ధనం ధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవం ఈశానం గోవిందం
గోపికా ప్రియం.
ప్రియం. థ్యాంక్ యూ మాత.
ఇంకొకటి ఉంది, వందే నవగణ శ్యామం. సగమే వేస్తే మరి కృష్ణుడు ఫీల్ అవుతాడు ప్రభుజీ.
రాదు మాతాజీ, అది షేర్ చేస్తాను.
చూసుకోండి, నేను ఇంకా నేను చూడలేదు ఇది.
తర్వాత చేస్తాను, ఎవరైనా చేయండి.
ఓకే, మాతాజీ ఉంటే చేయమనండి. వందే నవగణ శ్యామం. ఏం చెప్పారు ప్రభుజీ? Prabhuji's, Mataji's, please take turns and do the prayer of Purushottama Maas. Haribol. Haribol.
ఎస్ మాతాజీ, ఒక్క నిమిషం. ప్లేయర్స్ ఉన్నాయి మాతాజీ మన గ్రూప్ లో. ఒక్క నిమిషం.
గ్రూప్ ప్రభుజీ చూడండి.
ప్రభుజీ కొంచెం పురుషోత్తమ మాస్ అది కూడా పెట్టరా? ప్రభుజీ షేర్ చేసిండ్రు. సరేలే, ఇప్పుడు చదివేద్దాం.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ దండెత్తున్నా.
చేయండి.
గోవర్ధనాధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవం ఈశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. వందే నవ ఘనశ్యామం
ద్విభుజం మురళీధరం.
ద్విభుజం మురళీధరం. ఒక్కసారి చూసుకొని చేస్తాం మాతాజీ.
పీతాంబరధరం దేవం సరాదం పురుషోత్తమం. ఎస్, థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ. శ్రీహరి ప్రభుజీ చేయండి, చూస్ చేయండి.
హరే కృష్ణ మాత, నా వాయిస్ వినిపిస్తుంది?
వినిపిస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ, చూసి చేయండి. అందులో మీరు పెట్టారు కదా.
గోవర్ధనం ధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవ ఈశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. వందే నవగణశ్యామం విభుజం మురళీధరం పీతాంబరధరం దేవం శారదాం పురుషోత్తమం.
సరాదాం, ఓకే, రాధతో కలిసి ఉన్న కృష్ణుడు. సరాదం, ఓకే, సరాదాం. పల్లవి మాతాజీ, వాణి మాతాజీ.
గోవర్ధన ధనం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవం ఈశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. సెకండ్ వన్ మాతాజీ స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేస్తారు.
మీరు ఫోన్ లో చూసుకోండి మాతాజీ, పెట్టారు ప్రభు.
ఎక్కడ మాతాజీ? గ్రూప్ లో ఉందా?
ఇప్పుడు పెట్టారు చూడండి. వాణి మాతాజీ, హరిబోల్.
వందే నవ ఘనశ్యామం విభుజం మురళీధరం పీతాంబరధరం దేవం సరాదాం పురుషోత్తమం. థ్యాంక్ యూ
మాతాజీ. వాణి మాతాజీ, హరే కృష్ణ. అండ్ శిరీష మాతాజీ, పురుషోత్తం ప్రేయర్.
గోవర్ధనం ధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవం ఈశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. వందే నవఘనశ్యామం దివిభూజం మురళీధరం పీతాంబరం ధరం దేవం శ్రీరాధం పురుషోత్తమం. శ్రీరాధాం పురుషోత్తమం.
పీతాంబరధరం దేవం సరాదాం పురుషోత్తమం.
పీతాంబరం ధరం దేవం పీతాంబరధరం దేవం సారాధం పురుషోత్తమం.
పీతాంబర తెలుసు కదా మనకి, ఎల్లో కలర్ డ్రెస్ వేసుకుంటాడు కృష్ణుడు, రైట్?
సపీతాంబరధరం దేవం సరాదాం పురుషోత్తమం. రాధతో ఉన్న కృష్ణ. మాత చేయండి.
गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवगणश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं साराधं पुरुषोत्तमं.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
మాతాజీ నేను చేస్తా మాతాజీ, ఇప్పుడు చేయలేదు.
చేయండి చేయండి.
గోవర్ధనధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవం ఈశానం గోవిందం గోపికాప్రియం వందే నవఘనశ్యామం ద్విభుజం మురళీధరం పీతాంబరధరం దేవం సరాధం పురుషోత్తమం.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభుజీ. రాజీ ప్రభుజీ రేపు మీరే చెప్పాలి ఫస్ట్.
షూర్ మాతాజీ.
ఎల్లో కలర్ వేసారా జగన్నాథ్కి?
ఏంటి మాతాజీ?
జగన్నాథ్కి ఏ కలర్ వేసారు?
వీడియో కాల్
గ్రీన్ మాతాజీ.
ఎల్లో కలర్ మాతాజీ.
మరి మరి మీరు షూర్గా చెప్పాలి రేపు. ఓకే,
కనిపిస్తుందా మాతాజీ?
కనపడట్లే ప్రభుజీ, ఎక్కడ చూపిస్తున్నారు? ఒక నిమిషం. షూర్ షూర్, యా, సూపర్ సూపర్, ఎక్సలెంట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ బ్యూటిఫుల్ దర్శన్ ప్రభుజీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ ఫర్ బ్యూటిఫుల్ అలంకరణ.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. So beautiful, actually. So beautiful.
Please share pics, Prabhuji. Okay. Yeah, we'll start reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We are in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, 23rd chapter. Maharaja Prithu going back to Godhead, back home with his wife Archi. So we will be reading 23rd chapter, 16th verse. Yeah. Prasad Prabhuji, can you start?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. In this way, according to different positions of the various parts of the body, Prithu Maharaja merged the wholes of his senses with sky. His bodily liquids, such as blood and various secretions, with the totality of water, and he merged earth with water. Then water with fire with air with sky, and so on. Purport. In this verse, two words are very important. Yata stanam vibhagyashaha. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 5th chapter, Lord Brahma clearly explained to Narada how the creation took place. And he explained one step after another the proper divisions of senses, the control of senses, the objects of senses, and the material elements. And he also explained how they are created one after another. The air from the sky, the fire from the air, the water from the fire, the earth from the water, etc. It is important to know thoroughly the process of creation as it applies to this cosmic manifestation. Similarly, this body is also created according to the same process by the creation as it applies to this cosmic manifestation. Similarly, this body is also created according to the same process by the Supreme Lord. The personality of Godhead, after entering the universe, creates a cosmic manifestation, one after another. Similarly, the living entity, after entering a womb of mother, also collects his gross and subtle bodies, takes ingredients from the totality of sky, air, fire, water, and earth. The word yata snanam vibhagashaha indicates that one should know the process of creation and should meditate upon the creative process inversely, and thus and thus becomes free from the material contamination. Very good.
Very good. Excellent.
We take all these things and we give up again. All these
సేమ్
things.
ప్రభుజీ క్రియేషన్ ఎట్లయింది ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ క్రియేషన్ లోపల అది పంచభూతాల్లో కలిసిపోవాలి కదా 22 ఎలిమెంట్స్ రైట్
Yes.
అకార్డింగ్ టు దట్ ఆల్రెడీ సెకండ్ క్యాంటోలో చదివినాం కదా అదే ఎయిర్ వాటర్ ఎర్త్ వాటర్ ఫైర్ ఎయిర్ ఈథర్ ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభుజీ శ్రీహరి ప్రభుజీ హరే కృష్ణ
Hare Krishna Mataji.
యా చదవండి
Text 17. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He amalgamated
అమాల్గమేషన్ అంటే కలవడం కదా అది అమాల్గమేటెడ్
he amalgamated the mind with the senses and the senses with these sense objects according to their respective positions, and he also amalgamated the material ego with the total material energy, Mahatattva. In respect to the ego, the total material energy is sundered in two parts. One agitated by the mode of ignorance, and the other agitated by the mode of passion and goodness. Due to agitation by the mode of ignorance, the five gross elements are created. Due to agitation by the mode of passion, the mind is created. And due to agitation by the mode of goodness, false egoism or identification with the matter is created. The mind is protected by a particular type of demigod. Sometimes the mind, manaha, is also understood to have a controlling deity or demigod. In this way, the total mind, namely the material mind controlled by material demigods, was amalgamated with the senses. These senses, in turn, were amalgamated with the sense objects. The sense objects are forms, tastes, smells, sounds, etc. Sound is the ultimate source of the sense objects. The mind was attracted by senses and the senses by sense objects, and all of them were ultimately amalgamated in the sky. The creation is so arranged that cause and effect follow one after the other. The merging process involves amalgamating the effect with the original cause. Since the ultimate cause in the material worlds is Mahatattva, everything was gradually wound up and amalgamated with the Mahatattva. This may be compared to Sunyavada or voidism, but this is the process for cleansing the real spiritual mind or consciousness.
అరే బో మహత్తత్వ నుండి 22 ఎలిమెంట్స్ ఎట్లా వస్తాయి ఒకదాని నుండి ఒకటి ఎట్లా వస్తాయి మళ్ళీ ఎట్లా వెళ్ళిపోతాయి అని చెప్పిండ్రు సో సెకండ్ క్యాంటోలో క్లియర్ ఉంటుంది ప్రభుజీ గౌరంగ దర్శన్ ప్రభుజీ చార్ట్ కూడా ఉంది ఐ విల్ షేర్ ఇన్ ద గ్రూప్ ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభుజీ
Okay.
లేకపోతే యూ కెన్
Thank you.
రీడ్ దిస్ వన్ ఆల్సో స్మాల్ పేరా
When the mind is completely washed of all material contamination, the pure consciousness acts. The sound vibration from the spiritual sky can automatically cleanse all material contaminations. As confirmed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, we need only take the advice of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and chant the Hare Krishna mantra to cleanse the mind of all material contamination. And this may be considered the summary of this difficult verse. As soon as the whole material contamination is washed away by the process of chanting, all desires and reactions to material activities become immediately vanquished, and real life, peaceful existence begins. In this age of Kali, it is very difficult to adopt the yogic process mentioned in this verse. Unless one is very expert in such yoga, the best course is to adopt the ways and means of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Thus, one can grow gloriously, become freed from all material contamination by simple process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just as life in this material world has its beginning in material sound, similarly, a spiritual life has its beginning in this spiritual sound vibration.
Hare Bo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Giraj Prabhuji, you want to read?
Yeah, I want to read. Are you able to hear me clearly now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry for the interruption. Text 18, huh?
I'm showing you. Yes, sir.
No, 17 is going.
18, 18. 18, yeah, 17 అయిపోయింది.
Yeah, 18, okay. Text 18 from the chapter Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 23. So before that, let me quickly share, this PDF open. Okkasari, let us review once. Replace current share. Yeah, replace current share. Only me share చేస్తుండండి. Okay. So we are here in this section, right? 13 to 18. Prithu Maharaj gives up his grass body. How he is giving up his grass body. So that is
It's seen, yeah.
that is where this chapter, is a glorious departure. That's where we are reading how technical terms, naval parts, different chakras, bodily parts, how perfect yogi. So that's where Prabhupada mentioned. So next section 19 to 22, Archie performs Prithu's funeral rites and enters its flames. She enters its flames. Archie's voluntary austerities and service to her husband. And 21 to 22, Archie's lamentation and entrance into her husband's funeral pyre. Sati Sagamanam and declare.
Yes, yes.
All right,
Yes.
okay. You can share your screen, yeah. You can replace. I will continue, okay. You can replace. When you share, it asks replace. I will read once and then I will continue.
Are you able to see?
No. Okay. Are you able to? I'm still నేనే షేర్ చేస్తున్నా కదా.
అవునా?
మీరు డైరెక్ట్ షేర్ చేయండి, ఆటోమేటిక్గా అది అడుగుతుంది. రిప్లేస్ షేర్.
Others, please, can you confirm? Haribo?
యా కనిపిస్తుంది మాత్రం.
కనిపిస్తుంది.
నాదా ప్రభుజీదా?
మీది కనిపిస్తుంది.
మీరు చూసుకోండి.
ఓకే, చూస్తున్నా. లోడ్ అయింది. యా, కరెక్ట్. ఎస్, థ్యాంక్ యూ. ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ పర్పస్ బై శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదకి. దిస్ ఇస్ ద సెక్షన్ ఎండింగ్ 18th శ్లోక, కరెక్ట్? యా. Section ending. Prithu Maharaj gives up his grass body. The next section, Mother Archie is entering into funeral pyre, and we'll see. That's one. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prithu Maharaja then offered the total designation of the living entity unto the supreme controller of illusory energy. Being released from all the designations by which the living entity became entrapped. He became free by knowledge and renunciation and by the spiritual force of his devotional service. Very important statement. He became free by knowledge and renunciation and by the spiritual force of his devotional service. In this way, being situated in his original constitutional position of Krishna consciousness, he gave up this body as a Prabhu or controller of the senses. Purport. As stated in the Vedas, Prabhupada many times also, as stated in connection with. As stated in the Vedas, the Supreme Personality of God is the source of material energy. Consequently, he is sometimes called Maya, or the Supreme Person who can create his pastimes through his potency known as the material energy. The Jiva, or the individual living entity, becomes entrapped by the material energy, by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 18.61, we understand Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrudyesha Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. Ishvara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is situated within the heart of all conditioned souls. And by his supreme will, the living entity or individual soul gets the facility to lord it over material nature in various types of bodies. Prabhupada రాయగలుగుతారు. Gets the facility to lord it over material nature in various types of bodies. Facility and which are known as yantra, or the moving vehicle offered by the total material energy, Maya. Although the individual living entity, Jiva, and the Lord are both situated within the material energy, the Lord is directing the movements of the Jiva soul by offering him different types of bodies through the material energy. And thus, the living entity is wandering throughout the universes in various forms of body and becomes implicated to different situations, partaking of the reactions of his fruitive activities. In the beautiful Rashmi statement, thus the living entity is wandering throughout the universe in various forms of the body, yeah, becomes implicated in different situations, partaking of the reactions of his fruitive activities. ఇది మొత్తం అందులోనే ఉన్నది. When when Prithu Maharaja became spiritually powerful by the enhancement of his spiritual knowledge, jnana, when Prithu Maharaja became spiritually powerful by the enhancement of his spiritual knowledge, jnana, and renunciation of material desires, he became a Prabhu, or master of his senses, sometimes called Goswami or Swami. This means that he was no longer controlled by the influence of material energy. When one is strong enough to give up the influence of material energy, he is called Prabhu. When one is strong enough to give up the influence of material energy, he is called Prabhu. In this verse, so that is where Prabhu. In this verse, the word Swarupastaha is also very significant. The real identity of the individual soul lies in understanding or attaining the knowledge that he is eternally a servant of Krishna. This understanding is called Swarupa Labdhi. By culturing devotional service, the devotee gradually comes to understand his actual relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Swarupa Labdhi. In this much knowledge is given. So we have get that our real real or actual relationship. What kind of relationship we had in the spiritual world? So nice. Five primary rasas, we all know, right? This understanding of one's pure spiritual position is called Swarupa Labdhi. And when one attains the stage, he can understand how he is related with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a servant or a friend, as a parent or conjugal lover. This stage of understanding is called Swarupastaha. Prithu Maharaj realized his Swarupa completely, and it will be clear in later verses that he personally left this world or this body, by riding on a chariot sent from Vaikunta. Rebol. In this verse, the word Prabhu is also significant. As stated before, when one is completely self-realized and acts according to that position, he can be called Prabhu. The spiritual master is addressed as Prabhupada. Prabhupada himself writing Prabhupada. This is the beauty. Prabhupada himself writing Prabhupada, meaning the spiritual master is addressed as Prabhupada because he is a completely self-realized soul. The word Pada means position, and Prabhupada indicates that he is given the position of Prabhu, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For he acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, representative of Supreme Lord. Unless one is a Prabhu, or control of the senses, he cannot act as spiritual master. First sloka of Nectar of Instruction, anybody? What is it? Control of the senses? Yeah. He cannot act as spiritual master, who is authorized by the Supreme Prabhu, or Lord Krishna. In his verses praising the spiritual master, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Sakshadharitvena samasta shastrai uktastatha bhavyata eva sadvi kintu prabhorya priya eva tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. The spiritual master is honored as much as the Supreme Lord because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord. Thus, Prithumaraja can also be called Prabhupada or as described here in Prabhu. Another question may be raised in this connection. Since Prithumaraja was a power incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shaktya Vesha Avatara, why did he have to execute the regulative principles in order to become a Prabhu? Because he appeared on this earth as an ideal king, and because it is the duty of the king to instruct the citizens in execution of devotional service. He followed all the regulative principles of devotional service in order to teach others. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although Krishna himself taught us how to approach Krishna as a devotee, it is said, Apani achari bhakti shikhaino asabhare. Apani achari bhakti sikhaino sabhare. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed others in the process of devotional service by setting the example himself through his own personal actions. By setting his examples himself through his own personal actions, right? Yeah, Cheto Darpana Marjana. He is given. So all these 8 instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 8 instructions, what is personal, he experienced personally. That's why he has given it, right? He experienced it personally. His realizations. He didn't come back to writing any Sanskrit literature. 8 Sikshastakam verses enough. His complete realizations in that, you know. Similarly, Prithu Maharaja, although Shaktya Avatar incarnation, still behaved exactly as a devotee in order to achieve the position of Prabhu. Furthermore, Swarupastha means complete liberation. As it is said, Bhagavatam 2.10.6, Itva Anyata Rupam Swarupena Vyavastitihi. When a living entity, Prabhupada many times used this verse, Itva Anyata Rupam Swarupena Vyavastitihi. When a living entity abandons the activities of Maya and attains the position from which he can execute devotional service, his state is called Swarupastaha, or complete liberation. Beautiful slogan, no? Beautiful purport,
So,
very
so
nice.
okay. So Prabhu, like Prahlad, sorry, Prithu Maharaja, he is the Prabhu because he knows the Swarupastha. He knows
Yeah.
he
Prabhu, yes. Yes.
ఎవరైతే రియలైజ్ అవుతారో నేను కృష్ణుని ఐ మీన్ సేవకుడిని ఐఎమ్ ద సర్వెంట్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ అని ఎవరైతే రియలైజ్ అవుతారో వాళ్ళని ప్రభు అనొచ్చు అని అంటున్నారు ఇందులో,
అంతే
అంతేనా?
అంతే అంతే అంతే
కాకపోతే ప్రభుపాద అంటే మళ్ళీ డిఫరెంట్ వస్తుంది కదా, ప్రభు అంటే
అంటే
అప్పుడు కృష్ణుడు
మల్టిపుల్
వాళ్ళ
మీనింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. నార్మల్లీ వి సే ప్రభు పాద. ప్రభు మీన్స్ హూ ఇస్ సుప్రీం ప్రభు, కృష్ణ ఓన్లీనా. ప్రభు పాద. పాద మీన్స్ లోటస్ ఫీట్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ. హూ టేక్ షెల్టర్ ద లోటస్ ఫీట్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ ఇది ప్రభు పాద ఆల్సో. దట్ ఈస్ అనదర్ మీనింగ్ ఇస్.
కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ ప్రభు అనే దానికి మీనింగ్ చెప్తున్నారు. ఐ మీన్ ఏంటి అంటే ఎవరైతే రియలైజ్ అయ్యి నేను సర్వెంట్ ని తెలుసుకున్నాడు రియల్ ప్రభు అన్నట్టు.
రియల్ ప్రభు, ఎస్, రియల్ ప్రభు. లేదంటే నార్మల్ లోకల్ ఆర్డినరీ ప్రభు. ఆర్డినరీ ప్రభు. ఇది 18th శ్లోక we will send meaning of Prabhu. We can write something. It's very good. Sure. So I won't be able to continue, devotees. Thank you so much. Forgive me. So I have some work also. So please forgive me. Let me recite those 2 slokas once for my purification of Purushottama's prayers. What is those words? You all chanted very good. Let me chant and then drop off. Sarena?
Yes.
Let me chant. భగవద్గీత చేపియమమ్మా. వీ హ్యావ్ భగవద్గీత శ్లోకాలు ఎట్లా అని చెప్పి ఆ పీడిఎఫ్ ఓపెన్ చేపి ఇంకో 1-2 శ్లోకాలు చదివి ప్లీజ్. భగవద్గీత మస్ట్. పురుషోత్తమ యోగ 20 శ్లోకాలే కాబట్టి అది స్టిక్ అయి ఉండాలి మనసుకు స్టిక్ అయి ఉండాలి. సాంగ్ ఏదైనా పాడేయండి, వాట్ ఎవర్. చౌరాష్టకంలో నిన్న 2 వాడినాం కదా, ఇవాళ ఇంకో 2 వాడిచ్చు. ఓకే, రైట్. గోవర్ధనాధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవం ఈశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. ఇంకోసారి చేస్తా. గోవర్ధనాధరం వందే గోపాలం గోపరూపిణం గోకులోత్సవం ఈశానం గోవిందం గోపికా ప్రియం. వందే నవఘనశ్యామం ద్విభుజం మురళీధరం పీతాంబరధరం దేవం సరాధం పురుషోత్తమం. వందే నవఘనశ్యామం ద్విభుజం మురళీధరం పీతాంబరధరం దేవం సరాధం పురుషోత్తమం. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. హరే కృష్ణ. యు ఆల్ కంటిన్యూ.
Yeah, Mataji's, anybody? Now Archie is coming into the picture. Anybody would like to?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
యా చదవండి ప్రభుజీ. యా
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: The queen, the wife of Prithu Maharaja, whose name was Archi, followed her husband into the forest. Since she was a queen, her body was very delicate. Although she did not desire to live in the forest, she voluntarily touched her lotus feet to the ground. Purport: Because Prithumara's wife was the queen and also daughter of a king, she never experienced walking on the ground. For queens used to never come out of the palace, they certainly never went to the forest and tolerated all the difficulties of living in the wilderness. In Vedic civilization, there are hundreds of similar examples of such renunciation on the part of queens and dedication to the husband. The goddess of fortune, Mother
ఎవరు
Sita,
గుర్తొస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ? ఎవరు గుర్తొస్తుండ్రు చదువుతుంటే? ఇంకోరు
Sita Mata,
ఏంటి?
Sita Mata, Sita.
సీతామాత. పర్ఫెక్ట్. యా చదవండి.
The goddess of fortune, Mother Sita, followed her husband Ramachandra when he went to the forest. Lord Ramachandra went to the forest in compliance with the order of his father Maharaja Dasharatha. But Mother Sita was not so ordered. Nonetheless, she voluntarily accepted the path of her husband. Similarly, Gandhari, the wife of King Dhritarashtra, also followed her husband into the forest. Being the wives of a great personality like Prithu, Lord Ramachandra and Dhritarashtra, these were ideal chaste women. Such queens also instructed the general people by showing them how to become a chaste wife and follow the husband in every stage of life. When the husband is king, the sides beside him, the queen. She sits beside him as the queen, and when he goes to the forest, she also follows. Despite having to tolerate all kinds of difficulties in living in the forest, therefore it is said here that although she did not want to touch her feet to the ground, she nonetheless accepted all difficulties when she went to the forest with her husband. Thank you.
This is showing austerity of Archi. She doesn't need to go, but she doing austerity because she is a chaste lady and she was following her husband. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Madhav Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandat Pranam.
Mataji
Translation
Dandat.
purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Although she was not accustomed to such difficulties, Queen Archi followed her husband in the regulative principles of living in the forest like great sages. She lay down on the ground and ate only fruits, flowers, and leaves, and because she was not fit for these activities, she became frail and thin. Yet, because of the pleasure she derived in serving her husband, she did not feel any difficulties. Purport: the words Bhartruvrata Dharma.
ఇది చదివితే ఎవరు గుర్తొచ్చింది మాతాజీ? మనం ఇంతకుముందు స్టోరీ చేసుకున్నాం. ఎవరు గుర్తొస్తుంది? వాళ్ళ హస్బెండ్ కి సర్వ్ చేసుకుంటూ ఆమెనే మర్చిపోతుంది, కంప్లీట్ తిన్ అయిపోతుంది, ఫ్రెజల్ అయిపోతుంది, అసలు పట్టించుకోదు. ఎవరు ఆవిడ?
అవునవును.
భాగవతంలో
మాతాజీ పేరు గుర్తు రావట్లేదు మాతాజీ.
she served her husband like anything, like గురువుకు
ఎనీథింగ్
సర్వ్ చేసినట్టు మొత్తం ఆమె మర్చిపోయింది, మొత్తం
మర్చిపోయింది. కానీ అది ఆయన వెళ్ళిపోతాడు కదా మాతాజీ లాస్ట్ కి. గుర్తు రావట్లేదు. మదర్ దేవహూతి, గర్ధముని, కపిలముని.
యాక్చువల్లీ కర్దమముని ముందు తెలుసు ఆయనకి. ఆయన ఐ మీన్ తపస్సు చేసేటప్పుడే విష్ణుమూర్తి వచ్చి ఆయనకు ఏం వరం కావాలంటే, నేను మంచిగా డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్ చేయడానికి నాకు వైఫ్ కావాలి అని అంటే, ఎందుకంటే బ్రహ్మ చెప్తాడు ఆల్రెడీ, రైట్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ ప్రొక్రియేషన్ అని చెప్తాడు. సో విష్ణుమూర్తిని అడుగుతాడు, అంటే నీకు తప్పకుండా మంచి డివోషనల్ వైఫ్ వస్తుంది, హూ హెల్ప్స్ యూ టు పర్ఫార్మ్ పర్ఫెక్ట్ డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్, కరెక్ట్ మ్యాచ్ వస్తుంది అని చెప్తారు. 13 days ఏమో చెప్తారు. 13 days వచ్చి నీకు ఐ మీన్ నువ్వు పెళ్లి చేసుకుంటావు అని చెప్తారు. నెక్స్ట్ స్వయంభూ మను శతరూప ఆ దేవహూతిని తీసుకొచ్చి, ఆమె స్వయంభూ మను ఇస్ ద కింగ్ కదా, ఎంత పెద్ద కింగ్. దేవహూతి ఈజ్ వెరీ ఎక్సలెంట్ క్వీన్, అండ్ ఐ మీన్ క్వీన్ అంటే ప్రిన్సెస్. ఆమె అసలు బయట అసలు అడుగు కూడా పెట్టలేదు ఎప్పుడు, రైట్. ఎంత బాగా చూసుకునే వాళ్ళంటే ఆమె క్వీన్ని చాలా మంచిగా చూసుకునేవాళ్ళు. కాపోతే పెళ్లి చేసుకుంది కాబట్టి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చింది కాబట్టి ఈ గర్దమమునికి మొత్తం కంప్లీట్‌గా సర్వ్ చేయడం స్టార్ట్ చేసింది. అసలు తిన్నానా, పడుకున్నానా, నేను పట్టించుకున్నాను ఏం లేదు. మొత్తం కంప్లీట్‌గా కర్దమమునికి అంకితం అయిపోయింది. ఆయనకు సపర్యలు చేయడము, ఆయన డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్ కావాల్సినవి అన్నీ చూడడం. ఈమె డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్ డైరెక్ట్‌గా చేయలేదు. బట్ ఇండైరెక్ట్‌గా చేసింది. ఎందుకంటే వన్ హూ ఈస్ హెల్పింగ్ టు పెర్ఫార్మ్ డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్ హి ఈస్ అ వెరీ గ్రేట్ పర్సన్ కదా! రైట్? సో, కర్దమముని డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్ చేస్తుంటే ఈమె సర్వ్ చేసింది. అందుకు కంప్లీట్‌గా బెనిఫిట్ వచ్చింది. రైట్? సో, షీ ఈస్ అ వెరీ చేస్ట్ లేడీ. యాహ్! ఫ్రమ్ భాగవతం. యాహ్! యెస్. కంటిన్యూ మాతాజీ. సారీ.
Yeah. The words Vartu, Vrata, Dharma, and Nishtaya indicate that a woman's duty or religious principle is to serve her husband in all conditions.
ఫస్ట్
In
నుండి
Vedic
చదవరా ఒక్కసారి? పర్పట్ ఫస్ట్ నుండి.
purport, the words Vartu, Vrata, Dharma, Nishtaya
నిష్ఠ.
indicate that Nishtaya Nishtaya indicate that a woman's duty or religious principle is to serve her husband in all conditions. In Vedic civilization, a man is taught from the beginning of his life to become a brahmachari, then an ideal grihastha, then vanaprastha, then sannyasi, and the wife is taught just to follow the husband strictly in all conditions of life. After the period of brahmacharya, a man accepts a householder's life, and the woman is also taught by her parents to be a chaste wife. Thus, when a girl and boy are united, both are trained for a life dedicated to a higher purpose. The boy is trained to execute his duty in accordance with the higher purpose of life, and the girl is trained to follow him. The chaste wife's duty is to keep her husband pleased in householder life in all respects. And when the husband retires from family life, she is to go to the forest and adopt the life of Vanaprastha or Vanavasi. At the time of the wife is to follow her husband and take care of him, just as she took care of him in householder life. But when the husband takes the renounced order of life, namely sannyasa, the wife is to return home and become a saintly woman, setting an example for her children and daughters-in-law and showing them how to live life of austerity.
సరే ఇది వేదిక్ టైంలో ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు అబ్బాయి ఐఎమ్ నాట్ సేయింగ్ ఎనీబడి లైక్ చెప్తున్నాను బయట ట్రెండ్. నువ్వెంత అంటే నేనెంత అంటున్నారు. అంతే కదా? రైట్? నేనేం తక్కువ కాదు అన్నట్టుగా. ఎస్. థ్యాంక్ యూ మాత. ఇది కూడా చేయండి కంప్లీట్.
Yeah. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyasa, his wife Vishnupriya Devi, although only 16 years old, also took the vow of austerity due to her husband's leaving home. She chanted her beads, and after finishing one round, she collected 1 grain of rice. In this way, as many rounds as she chanted, she would receive the same number of rice grains and then cook them. And to so take prasada. This is called austerity. Even today in India, widows are women whose husbands have taken sannyasa follow the principles of austerity, even though they live with their children. Prithu Maharaja's wife, Archie, was steadily determined to execute the duty of a wife, and while her husband was in the forest, she followed him in eating only fruits and leaves and lying down on the ground. Since a woman's body is considerably more delicate than a man's, Queen Archie became very frail and thin. Parikarshita. When one engages in austerities, his body generally becomes lean and thin. Becoming fat is not a very good qualification in spiritual life, because a person who is engaged in spiritual life must reduce the comforts of the body, namely eating, sleeping, and mating, to a minimum. Although Queen Archie became very thin from living in the forest according to regulative principles, she wasn't unhappy, for she was enjoying the honor of serving her great husband. Thank you, Mata Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Hello, Mataji. Hare Krishna. You want to read?
Yeah, Mataji Chauta. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Queen Arti saw that her husband, who had been so merciful to her and the earth, no longer showed symptoms of life, she lamented for a little while and then built a fiery pyre and on top of a hill and placed the body of her husband on it. Purport. After seeing all the life symptoms in her husband stop, the queen lamented for a while. The word kinchit means for a little while. The queen was completely aware that her husband was not dead, although the symptoms of life action, intelligence, and sense perception had ceased. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.13, Dehino asmin yata dehi kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantara praktir dheras tatra namuhyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. When a
అందుకే
living entity.
బట్ షీఈ్ ధీరా కాబట్టి ఆమె అంత అది కాలేదు, రైట్? బికాస్ షీ నో షీ ఇస్ ద సెల్ఫ్ రియలైజ్ సోల్.
When a living entity transfers from one body to another, a process generally known as death, a sane man does not lament, for he knows that the living entity is not dead but is simply transferred from one body to another. The queen should have been afraid of being alone in the forest with the body of her husband, but since she was a great wife of a great personality, she lamented for a while but immediately understood that she had many duties to perform. Thus, instead of wasting her time in lamentation, she immediately prepared a fiery pyre on top of a hill and then placed the body of her husband onto it to be burned. Maharaja, Maharaja Prithu is described here as Daita, for not only was he the king of the earth, but he treated the earth as his protected child. Similarly, he protected his wife also. It was the duty of the king to give protection to everyone, especially to the earth or land which he ruled, as well as the citizens and his family members. Since Prithu Maharaja was a perfect king, he gave protection to everyone, and therefore he is described here as Daita. Thank you, Mataji.
వెరీ నైస్. బృందా, యు వాంట్ టు రీడ్? చిన్నగా ఉంది, చదువుతావా?
Yes.
చదువు.
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After this, the queen.
పృథు మహారాజా వాళ్ళ వైఫ్ పేరేంటి? పృథు మహారాజా వాళ్ళ వైఫ్ పేరేంటి? You are not listening? Archie. Vrinda, are you there? Haribo?
Yes, sorry.
Chadu.
Okay. After this, the queen executed the necessary funerary functions and offered oblations of water. After bathing in the river, she offered obeisances to various demigods situated in the sky in the different planetary systems. She then circumambulated the fire. Okay. The fire, and while thinking of the lotus feet of her husband, entered its flames.
అగ్నిలోకి దూకింది అంటాం కదా, సీతామాత సీతామాత అగ్నిలోకి దూకింది చూడప్పుడు సేమ్ అట్లే. ఆ టెస్ట్ కోసం ఆవిడ దూకింది, ఈడేమో వాళ్ళ హస్బెండ్ చనిపోయిండు పృథు మహారాజ్ అని సతీ సగమనం చేస్తుంది.
Okay. The entrance of a chaste wife into the flames of the pyre of her dead husband is known as Sahagamana, which means dying with the husband. This system of Sahagamana had been practiced in Vedic civilization from the time immemorial. Even after the British period in India, this practice was rigidly observed, but soon it degraded to the point that even when the wife was not enough to enter the fire of her husband, the relatives would force her to enter. Thus, this practice had to be stopped, but Even today, there are still some solitary cases where a wife will volunteer enter the fire and die with her husband. Even after 1940, we personally knew a chaste wife who died in this way.
ఎవరు అది చూడాలి, తెలియదు. కాకపోతే వీరేశలింగం పంతులు ఎవరో దీన్ని స్టాప్ చేసి సతీ సహగమనాన్ని ఐ మీన్ స్టాప్ చేసిండ్రు. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ కరెక్ట్, ఐ డోంట్ రీకలెక్ట్, బట్ వీరేశలింగం పంతులేనా సతీ
రాజా రామ్మోహన్ రాయ్ ప్రభుజీ మాతాజీ హోప్ఫుల్లీ రాజా రామ్మోహన్ రాయ్ అనుకుంటా.
ఓకే
ఐ
ఓకే.
డోంట్
సో
నో ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ బట్
సో రాజా రామ్మోహన్ రాయ్ సంఘ సంస్కర్తలు అండి, సోషల్ రిఫార్మర్స్ చాలా మంది వచ్చి చాలా చాలా అమ్మాయిలకు చదువు చెప్పాలి, తర్వాత అమ్మాయిలను చిన్న చూపు చూడొద్దు అని కొందరు, తర్వాత ఈ సతీ సహగమనం ఎందుకు, పాపం వాళ్ళకు కూడా లైఫ్ ఉంది అని కొందరు, అది చేసి దాన్ని ఆపేసిండ్రు. బట్ ఇక్కడ చెప్తున్నారు ఏంటంటే 1940 తర్వాత కూడా ఎవరో ఒకరు చేసిండ్రు అన్నారు. బట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు ఫైండ్ అవుట్ హూ ఈస్ ద బ్రేవెస్ట్ లేడీ. యా ఓకే. వాణి మాతాజీ, హరే కృష్ణ. హరిబోల్.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ, దండ ప్రణాం.
ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారు మాతాజీ?
మాతాజీ వచ్చాను, ఇండియాకి వచ్చాను. I came 4 days back, Mataji.
Okay, good to know. చదువుతారా?
Yeah, yes, Mataji, I'll read. Translation. After observing this brave act performed by the chaste wife Archi, the wife of the great king Pruthu, many thousands of the wives of the demigod, along with their husbands, offered prayers to the queen, for they were very much satisfied.
ఈవిడ ఇవన్నీ చేస్తుంటే పైనుండి ఎవరు చూస్తున్నారు?
దేవతలు చూస్తున్నారు, డెమిగాడ్స్.
డెమిగాడ్స్ వాళ్ళ వైఫ్లు చూస్తున్నారు. అందరు వైఫ్ తప్ప ఎంత చేస్తుంది లేడీ అని దే ఆర్ ఆఫరింగ్ ప్రేయర్స్ టు అర్చి. అర్చి ఎక్కడ ఉన్నప్పుడు అర్త్ లో ఉంది, రైట్? భూమి మీద ఉంది. ఒక్క భూమి మీద, ఐ మీన్ మానవ అన్నట్టే కదా, హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్ అన్నట్టే కదా. ఒకరు హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్ చేసే పనులన్నీ దేవతలు హర్షిస్తున్నారు. దట్ మచ్ ఆస్టరీ షీ ఈస్ పర్ఫార్మింగ్ టువర్డ్స్ హిస్. అందుకు వాళ్ళు గ్లోరిఫై చేస్తున్నారు, అబ్బా ఎంత మంచిది ఎంత మంచిది అని. దేవతలు డెమిగాడ్స్ వాళ్ళ వైఫ్లు పూలవర్షం కురిపిస్తున్నారు. యా చదవండి.
Translation. At that time, the demigods were situated on the top of Mandara hill, and all their wives began to shower flowers on the funeral pyre and began to talk amongst themselves as follows.
మందర హిల్ కి వచ్చిండ్రు వాళ్ళందరూ ఈమె ప్రశంసించడానికి, పూల వర్షం కురిపించడానికి. ఎస్, యు కెన్ రీడ్ మాతాజీ.
Yeah. Translation. The wives of the demigod said, "All glories to Queen Archi. We can see that this queen of the great king Prithu, the emperor of all the kings of the world, has served her husband with mind, speech, and body, exactly as the goddess of fortune serves the supreme personality of Godhead, Yagnesha or Vishnu." Purport. In this verse, the word Yagnesha or Strivadur Iva indicate that Queen Archi served her husband just as the goddess of the fortune serves the supreme personality of Godhead, Vishnu. We can observe that even in the history of this world, when Lord Krishna, the supreme Vishnu, was ruling over Dwarka, Queen Rukmini, who was the chief of all Krishna's queens, used to serve Lord Krishna personally in spite of having many hundreds of maidservants to assist her. Similarly, the goddess of fortune in the Vaikuntha planets also serves Narayana personally, although there are many thousands of devotees prepared to serve the Lord. This practice is also followed by the wives of the demigods. And in the days past, the wives of the men also, and in the past, in the days of the wives past, the wives of the men also followed this same principle. In Vedic civilization, earlier we used to do that. Vedic civilization, the husband and wife were not separated by such man-made laws as divorce. We should understand the necessity for maintaining family life in human society and should thus abolished this artificial law known as divorce. The husband and wife should live in Krishna consciousness and follow in the footsteps of Lakshmi Narayana or Krishna Rukmini. In this way, peace and harmony can be possible within this world.
అప్పట్లో అట్లా జరిగేది. ఇప్పుడు వైఫ్ ఏమన్నా కొంచెం ఎక్కువ మాట్లాడినా హస్బెండ్ కొంచెం ఎక్కువ మాట్లాడినా వైఫ్, తర్వాత డివోర్స్, తర్వాత పిల్లలకు ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, రైట్? యా, కలియుగ. I'll read.
Should I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, you want to read? You can read. One para you can read, then I'll okay?
Yeah, okay. Translation. The wives of the demigods continue. Just see how this chaste lady, Archie, by dint of her inconceivable pious activities, is still following her husband's upward as far as we can see. Purport. Both Prithu Maharaja's airplane and the airplane carrying Queen Archie were passing out of the vision of the ladies of the higher planetary systems. These ladies were simply astonished to see how Prithu Maharaj and his wife achieved such an exalted position. Although they were the wives of denizens of the higher planetary system and Prithu Maharaj was an inhabitant of an inferior planetary system, the earth, the king along with his wife passed beyond the realms of the demigods from the higher planetary system, which include the moon, sun, and Venus, up to Brahmaloka, or the highest planet. Beyond Brahmaloka is the spiritual sky. And in that
ఇక్కడ చదవలే మాతాజీ, వైకుంఠ ఊర్ధ్వం. The word
oh,
ఊర్ధ్వం.
sorry, okay.
Yeah, పర్లేదు.
Okay, pass beyond the, okay, fine. Inferior planetary system, the earth. The king, along with his wife, passed beyond the realms of the demigods and went upward to Vaikuntha Loka. The word Urdhvavam, upward, is Urdhvam.
చదువుతున్నాం కదా.
Urdhvam, yeah. The word Urdhvam, upward, is significant here. For the ladies speaking were from the higher planetary systems, which include the sun, moon, and Venus, up to Brahmaloka, or the highest planet. Beyond Brahmaloka is the spiritual sky, and in that spiritual sky, there are innumerable Vaikuntha Lokas. Thus, the word Urdhvam indicates that the Vaikuntha planets are beyond or above these material planets, and it was these Vaikuntha planets that Prithu Maharaj and his wife were going. This also indicates that when Prithu Maharaja and his wife Archie abandoned their material bodies in the material fire, they immediately developed their spiritual bodies and entered into spiritual airplanes, which could penetrate the material elements and reach the spiritual sky. Since they were carried by two separate airplanes, it may be concluded that even after being burned in the funeral pyre, they remained separate, individual persons. In words, they never lost their identity or became void, as imagined by the impersonalists. The ladies.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Sri Hari Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Haribo, Prabhuji?
నేను చదవాలి మాతాజీ.
చదవండి. The ladies.
The ladies in the higher planetary systems were capable of seeing both downward and upward. When they looked down, they could see that the body of Ritu Maharaja was being burnt and that his wife Archie was entering into the fire. And when they looked upward, they could see how they were being carried in two airplanes to the Vaikuntha Lokas. All of this is possible simply by Durvibhavena karma na Durvibhavena
Durvibhavyena karmana.
Durvibhavena
Durvibhavyena karmana.
Durvibhavena karmana. Inconceivable activity. Prithu Maharaja was a pure devotee and his wife Queen Uti simply followed her husband. Thus they can both be considered pure devotees and thus they are capable of performing inconceivable activities. Such activities are not possible for ordinary men. Indeed, ordinary men cannot even take to the devotional service of the Lord. nor can ordinary women maintain such vows of chastity and follow their husbands in all respects. A woman does not need to attain high qualifications, but if she simply follows in the footsteps of her husband, who must be a devotee, then both husband and wife attain liberation and are promoted to the Vaikuntha Lokas. This is evidenced by the inconceivable activities of Maharaja Prutu and his wife.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Let me check. Nobody is there. Okay, then I'll read. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In this material world, every human being has a short span of life, but those who are engaged in devotional service go back home, back to Godhead, for they are actually on the path of liberation. For such persons, there is nothing which is not available. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 9.33, Lord Krishna says, Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. The Lord here declares that this material world is full of miseries, asukam, and at the same time it is very flickering, anityam. Therefore, one's only duty is to engage himself in the devotional service. This is best end to which human life can be put. Those devotees who are constantly engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord achieve not only all material benefits but also all spiritual benefits. Haribol. For at the end of life, they go back to Godhead, back home, back to Godhead. Their destination is described here in this verse as Bhagavat Padam. The word Padam means abode and Bhagavat means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, the destination of the devotee is the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the word Naishkarmyam, which means transcendental knowledge, it is also significant. Unless one comes to the platform of transcendental knowledge and offers devotional service to the Lord, one is not perfect. Generally, the process of jnana, yoga, karma are executed life after life before one gets a chance to render pure devotional service of the Lord. Haribol. This chance is given by the grace of a pure devotee, and it is in the way only that one can actually attain liberation. In the context of this narration, the wives of demigods repented because although they had the opportunity of birth in a higher planetary system, a lifetime spanning millions of years and all material comforts, they were not as fortunate as Prithu Maharaja and his wife, who are actually surpassing them. In other words, Prithu Maharaja and his wife scorned promotion to the higher planetary systems and even to Brahmaloka because the position which they were attaining was incomparable. In Bhagavad Gita 8.16, the Lord affirms Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartinojuna Mamupetyati Kaunteya Punarjanma na vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. In other words, even one goes to the highest planet Brahmaloka, he has to return to this miseries of birth and death. In the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna asserts, Tetam bhuktva sargalokam vishalam kshine punye mrityalokam vishanti. When they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. When they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, after existing the results of pious activities, one has to come again to the lower planetary systems and begin a new chapter of pious activities. It is therefore said in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.12, Naishkarmyam apit achyuta bhava varjitam. The path of liberation is not at all secure. The path of liberation is not at all secure unless one attains the devotional service of the Lord. Even if one is promoted to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, he returns every chance of falling down into the material world. If it is possible to fall down from the Brahma Jyoti, which is beyond the higher planetary systems in this material world, then what to be said of the ordinary yogi and karmi who can only be elevated to the higher material planets? Thus, the wives of denizens of the higher heavenly planetary system did not very much appreciate the result of karma, jnana, and yoga. Haribol. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Anybody couldn't read? Or anybody missed Haribol? Everyone finished, right? So we'll go to Bhagavad Gita. Haribol? Haribol?
ఎస్ మాతాజీ చెప్పండి.
Yeah, ఒక నిమిషం. ప్రభుజీ అది మా ప్రభు పురుషోత్తమ మాస్ ప్రేయర్ పంపించారు కదా, అది పంపిస్తారా ఒకసారి గ్రూప్ లో?
ఏ ప్రేయర్ మాతాజీ?
పురుషోత్తమ మాస్ మొత్తం మనం రోజు చదివేది ఉంది కదా, అది గ్రూప్ లో పెట్టారు PDF.
చూస్తున్నా మాతాజీ, ఒక్క సెకండ్.
అది ఒకసారి పంపించరా? Let me check this. పురుషోత్తమ మాస్.
మళ్ళీ గ్రూప్ లోనే పెట్టిన మాతాజీ, లేకపోతే మీకు పంపించాలా?
పెట్టండి గ్రూప్ లో పెట్టండి, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
పెట్టేస్తున్నా మాతాజీ.
చూస్తాం. Are you able to see? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Mataji, perfect.
Okay. Brinda, you can start, Nana.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Ata Panchadasodhyayah Purushottama Yogaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Udvamoolamadasyakam Ashvatam Prahurabhyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavid. 15.2 Adashchodvam prasritastasya shakha guna pravritta vishya pravala adasya moolani anusantatani karmanubandhani manushya loke.
Read translations. Chadavesi.
Okay, fine. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upwards and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society.
Thank you. 15.3 and 4. Narupamashesha tatopalabhyate nanto nachade naja sampratishtha ashwatthamenam suvirudamulam ashangasashrena drudena chitva tata padam tad parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivatanti bhuya तमेव चार्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यथा प्रवृत्ते प्रसृता पुराणी. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends and where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything was extended since time memorial. Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Pale Mataji, 5, 6 చదువుతుందా?
మాతాజీ ఏది మాతాజీ
5, 6. మధ్య 7, 8 ఉండండి. మీరు చదవండి. ఓకే.
నిర్మాణ మోహ జిత సంగ దోష అధ్యాత్మ నిత్య వినివృత్త కామ ద్వంద్వైర్ముక్త అహసుఖ దుఃఖ సమగ్నైర్ గచ్చంతి ఆమూఢ పద అవ్యయం తత్. భగవద్గీత 15.6. నతద్భాష్యతో నతద్భాష్యతే సూర్యో న శశాంకో న పావకః యద్గత్వా అన నివర్తంతే తద్ధామ పరమం మమ. థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ.
మీనింగ్ చదవండి మాతాజీ 2.
Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. 15.6. That supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Mataji 7 and 8.
హరే కృష్ణ మాత.
We'll do 10
మమై
today.
వంశ జీవలోకే జీవభూత సనాతన మనఃశాస్త్రాణి ఇంద్రియాణి ప్రకృతిస్థాని కర్షతి. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. Shariram yadavapnoti yaschapi utkramaktishvara gruhitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashyata ivashayat vayurgandhan ivashayat. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another. As the air carries aromas, thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
మాతాజీ ఇందాక శ్రీమద్ భాగవతం చాలా ఫాస్ట్ గా రీడ్ చేసిన మాతాజీ, కొంచెం వర్క్ మధ్యలో ఉంది. సారీ మాతాజీ.
నేనా? అర్థం కాదు.
నేను చేశాను.
పర్లే మాతాజీ, పర్లే. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ యువర్ enthusiasm to read and attend. Do this. ఇంకెవరైనా ఉన్నారా? లేదు, జస్ట్ ఐ విల్ డూ దిస్ వన్.
మాతాజీ నేను చదవచ్చా?
చదువుతారా? ఉన్నారా?
ఎస్ మాతాజీ.
13, 14 చేయండి.
ఓకే. ఓకే. యా ఇది గుర్తు రావట్లేదు. యాక్చువల్లీ ఐ నో దిస్ శ్లోక ఫ్రమ్ యా. గమవచ్చభి ఉతాని ధర్మార్థే
గామావిశ్య చ భూతాని
ధరే ఆమి అహం ఓజ ఉష్ణామి చౌస్తాధి సర్వ సమో భూత్వా రసాత్మక.
సోమో అంటే
మూన్. సోమో భూత్వా రసాత్మక. I enter into each planet and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Aham Vaishnavanaru Bhutva Praninam Dehimashrita Pranapana Mayukta Paschami Anna Machaturvidham. ఏం మాతాజీ నాది శ్లోక ఫుల్ పోయింది. 3 months గ్యాప్.
ప్రాక్టీస్ లేదు కదా మాతాజీ, మీరు బిజీ కదా. పర్లేదు, రోజు వింటుంటే వస్తుంది. अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां
देहमाश्रितः
प्राणापानसमायुक्ता पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्. Yeah, thank you.
I am the fire of
Children.
I am the fire of digestion in bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuffs. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. This is a song Purushottama, Krishna Prema Mai Radha, and it is by Jiva Goswami. It is called Yugalashtakam. I'll recite very quickly. Krishna Prema Mai Radha, Radha Prema Mayo Hari, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Sadravinam Radha, Radha Yadravinam Hari, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Pranamayi Radha, Radha Pranamayo Hari, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Dravamayi Radha, Radha Dravamayo Hari, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Gehe Sthita Radha, Radha Gehe Sthito Hari, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Krishna Chitta Sthita Radha, Radha Chitta Sthito Hari, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Neelambaradhara Radha, Pitambaradharo Hari, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Vrindavaneshwari Radha, Krishna Vrindavaneshwara, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Jivane Nidane Nityam, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama, Radha Krishna Gatir Mama. Thank you, Matajis and Prabhujis and Prana. Thank you for joining today's reading and recitation for Vanchakalpa Parubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyam Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
అనంతకోటి వైష్ణవ వృందికి జయ, శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదికి జయ, శ్రీల గురుదేవికి జయ. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Leaving.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.